Hello dear students, today I am going to explain you a very important topic from your syllabus, that is genetic variances and gene action. It is a very important topic in point of view of your syllabus as well as those students preparing for JRF and UPSC or other examination. So it is a very basic topic in plant breeding, without which breeding program can't takes place. So first of all, we are going to see what is meant by variability or variation. So this variability refers to the presence of differences among the individuals of plant population. And this variability is result due to differences either in the genetic constitution of the individual of a population or in the environment. So who is responsible to cause this variation or variability? Either any change in the genetic constitution or environment is playing role here to cause a variation, and thereby you will see the differences within the individuals of the same population. So the existence of such a variability is very essential for a resistance to biotic and abiotic factor as well as for wide adaptability, because selection is depend on the variation. If variation is present in your population, we will progress with the selection. Okay. So genetic variability if present in a population is a very much important thing to a plant breeder to start a new breeding program. Okay. So any property of an individual which is showing a heritable variation. Heritable means the variation that is going to pass on to next generation. So such type of variation is present in an individual, so that variation is called as a character or trait. So it include maybe morphological, physiological, biochemical and behavior properties of that individual. So plant characters, again these are two types, either quantitative, that is also called as a polygenic one, and another one is a qualitative or oligogenic characters. So these polygenic characters are expressed in the terms of degree rather than the kind, and such type of characters are going to show us a continuous variation. Okay. So these polygenic characters are also called as a multifactorial characters or multifactorial traits, which are determined by multiple genetic and environmental factors acting together. So multifactorial traits, also known as a complex trait or quantitative traits. So this type of traits are going to show us a continuous variation in a population from one extreme to the other. So almost all plant parts and functions exhibit differences of quantitative nature. For example, yield, days to flower, days to maturity, seed size, seed oil content, protein content, plant height, etc. So these are the few examples of quantitative traits. Then qualitative traits means color of your stem, color of flower, pollen, their shapes, etc., etc. So in plant breeding, both quantitative and qualitative characters are having a equal economic importance. Okay. So these polygenic traits are governed by the specific effects of combined interaction of all genetic and environmental factors. So both environmental factor and genetic factors are acting on this multifactorial or polygenic traits. So quantitative traits, they are showing differences in terms of quantity rather than the type. it possesses a continuous variation. So you will get from, suppose a character is height, so you are getting continuously variation from dwarf type up to the tall type. Okay. Then this quantitative trait is of three types. First one is a continuous trait that will show you the continuous gradation from one genotype to the next. In case of height, so from dwarf to tall, all types of phenotype you will observe. Then second one is a categorical trait, so in which phenotype is determined by counting, for example flower color, and another one is a threshold trait or threshold character. So only two or a few phenotypic classes, but their inheritance is determined by a multiple gene and environment. So here we are not having a many classes or many types, only few or sometimes two classes you will have here, but those classes are determined by a multiple genes. So next point is components of variation. So this polygenic variation present in the population is of three types, that is phenotypic variation, genotypic variation, and third one is a environmental variation. So this phenotypic variability is observable in nature. So it includes both your genotypic and environmental variation. Therefore, this phenotypic variation is called as a total variation, because phenotype is depend on this both, that is genotype and environment. So this phenotype is governed by the change in genotype as well as changes that is caused due to environmental condition. Therefore, phenotype is observable in nature, that will explain you the total variability present in that population. So it changes under different environmental condition, while genotypic variance or a genotypic variation refers to the genetic or inherent variability which remains unaltered due to environmental conditions. So genotypic variation is a type of variation or variability which is result due to genetic constitution, and such type of variation is passed on to next generation. There are no any kind of change takes place due to environmental effect, while phenotypic variation will undergo the change due to environmental condition. Okay. Then third one is a environmental variation, which is totally due to environmental effect and the varies under different environmental conditions. So as environmental condition changes, the variation or variability present in the population, that is also going to be changed. So this uncontrolled variation is measured in terms of error mean of variances. Okay. So genetic variance refers to the heritable portion of phenotypic variance. So this genotypic variance is classified by the scientist Fisher in 1918, and he divided this genetic variance into three components, that is additive variance, dominance variance, and third one is a epistasis variance. So one by one we are going to see all them. So polygenic variation, as I explained earlier, it has three categories, that is genotypic variance, phenotypic variance, and environmental variance. So phenotypic variance is result due to addition of your genotypic variance. So G refers here for genotypic variance, E refers for environmental variance, and GE that refers for a genotypic into environmental interaction factor. Okay. So phenotypic variance is nothing but it is the total variation present in a population. It includes your both genotypic and environmental variation, and this type of variation is measured in terms of phenotypic variance denoted by letter P. Then genotypic variation, it is the inherent or the variation that result due to change in genetic constitution or which remain unaltered by the environmental condition. Such type of variation is called as a genotypic variation. So it is the most important or useful part of the variation which is required by the plant breeder for a breeding purpose. It is measured in terms of genotypic variance, and it consists of three types again: additive variance, dominance variance and epistasis variance. Okay. So genotypic variance is result due to additive variance, it is denoted by letter D. Then dominance variance denoted by letter H, and epistasis variance, that is denoted by letter I. Then next one is a environmental variation. So it refers to the non-heritable, because such type of variation is not passed on to the next generation. Therefore it is called as a non-heritable variation, and that result due to environmental condition, and it is measured in terms of error mean square. So this type of variation in true breeding line as well as in F1 is non-heritable. So such type of variation you can observe in F1 generation as well as in true breeding line. Whatever you are observing, that is called as a environmental variation, because genetically F1 or true breeding lines are having a homozygous and homogeneous nature. Okay. So we can't expect change in their phenotype. So whatever difference you will observe, that is totally due to environmental condition. Okay. So as for Fisher, which is an English biometrician, in 1980 he divided the genetic variance into three components, that is additive component, then dominant component, and third one is a epistasis. Okay. So this additive component also called as a additive variance. So additive variance is nothing but it is the portion of genetic variance which result due to average effect of genes on all segregating loci. So it is result due to average action of all gene which is present on a locus. Okay. So it is the component which arises from difference between two homozygotes. Okay. So it is, suppose you are having a two genotypes here, both are homozygotes. Okay. Capital A and small a small a. If you cross these two individual, the resulting F1 have a phenotype which is same to the average value of this both gene. Okay. So that is called as a mid parent value or denoted by letter M. So M is nothing but it is if you do the average or summation of these both, and you will get the average. So if you do like this, you will get a mid parent value. So this M is equal to the phenotype produced by the heterozygote which is resulting from a cross of these two homozygotes. So that is called as a additive variance. The next one is a dominance variance. So dominance variance refers to the deviation of heterozygote. So this, after crossing two homozygote, whatever heterozygote individual you are getting, that will have a different phenotype, or the value, phenotypic value is the different than the average of this both parent. Or so this capital A small a which is a heterozygote which is not equal to the mid parent value. So whatever deviation this individual getting, so such type of variation we are getting from this mid parent value is called as a dominance variance, and that is due to the intra-allelic interaction. Then third type is epistasis varians. So epistasis, in this one, instead of one gene pair, two or more gene pairs are involved, and due to interaction between these two or more gene pair, we will see the variance or difference or variation in the population. So the scientists Hyman and Mather classified this epistasis component into three types, that is additive into additive variance, additive into dominance 1, and third one is a dominance into dominance 1. So one by one we are going to see here. So this additive into additive component, so through this picture or one example I have taken here, through which I will explain you what is meant by additive into additive interaction. So here we are having a two gene pair, that is capital A, and another one is a capital B. So these two gene A and B both are working as a additive gene. Okay. So in this case, if you remember what I said about the additive variance, so this additive variance is result due to the average, okay, or it is the average effect of both genes or whatever genes present on a single locus. In that case, this heterozygote is equal to this M. So they are having a equal value. So if you check here, both genes, here for this capital A, small a gene, we are having a mid parent value is 6, which is same here. Okay. In the same manner, if you see for heterozygotes, these values are same. Okay. So here capital A, small a is equal to M condition. In the same manner for this genotype B or gene B, if you see, if you do the average of this B homozygous dominant form 9 plus 3 divided by 2, if you do, you will get a mid value 6. So this mid value 6 is equal to the heterozygote B. So our conditions are satisfied. So it means that this A gene and B gene both are additive into additive in nature. Okay. The next one is, second condition is additive into dominant gene interaction. So in this case, your one gene, so again we are requiring two pair A and B. So this A gene, suppose working in a in additive condition. So gene is having a capital A or small a both are working in a additive condition, while this B is a dominant in nature. So in that case, this heterozygote that result from a cross between capital A, small a, that is capital A, small a, which is having a same value as their mid parent value. Okay, if you check here. But due this B gene is in a dominant form, so we will not get a here value same as your mid value. Okay, so mid value of this heterozygote BB is not same as their parental value. Because of this, B gene is working in a dominant phase. So these conditions are here. So either you will get sometime positive type of dominance or negative type of dominance. So suppose this heterozygote capital A is showing us the same value as their parent dominant homozygous, then it is called as a positive type of dominance. But if you take a value of a recessive parent, then that is called as a negative type of dominance. Okay. So this is a additive into dominant gene interaction in which this heterozygote is equal to M for one gene pair, while for another gene pair, this heterozygote individual which not took the values, phenotypic values of this heterozygote individual which is not equal to the mid parent value. Okay. Then third condition is dominance into dominance interaction. So in this condition, both gene, that is A gene and B gene, both are dominant to each other, and therefore the values whatever you are obtained here in both cases which is not equal to M or mid parent value. Okay, so you can see here, if you check this assumption here, so this homozygote capital A capital L will have a value 9, then the small a small is having a 7 value. So here you can take, here is a complete dominance we will observe because heterozygote have take a value of this homozygous dominant parent, and in the due to this dominance condition we have to do a sum. Instead of taking only 2 parental average, we have to take a average of 3. So mid value is 8.3, which is not equal to this heterozygote phenotypic value. If you say about the B gene, you can also see mid value is 8.3, which is not same as the heterozygote individual. So in that case, both individual or both genes are dominant to each other. Okay. So here I have a difference between additive into dominance variance. So it refers to the difference between homozygote, while dominance is refers to the deviation from the mean value of this A and A. So in case of additive, genes are not showing any kind of dominance, so there is a lack of dominance. But in case of dominance variance, we will have an incomplete, complete and over dominance situation. Okay. So generally additive variance is associated with homozygosity and more in case of inbred. If you are doing a self pollination, you will get an additive variance. But if you are doing a cross pollination, then there is a chances of having a dominance variance because it is associated with heterozygosity. So additive variance is in fixable nature. We can fix and pass on to the next generation. While dominance variance is not fixable, it is limited to only that generation. So selection is very effective due to fixable nature in case of additive variance, while in case of dominance variance, selection is ineffective because that variation is not passed on to the next generation. So it is the chief cause of transgressive segregation. Additive variance will give you more transgressive segregant, while dominance variance result into heterosis or hybrid vigor. Okay. So already I have explained this concept, which is given by the Hyman method. So epistasis interaction is result due to 2 or more genes, 3 types of interaction we just see. So again I will explain you the comparison of these 3 types of epistasis gene action. So in case of additive into additive gene action, it is the interaction between 2 loci, each exhibiting additive gene action, or there is a lack of dominance. In case of additive into dominance, here one gene is exhibiting dominance while other is exhibiting you additive or lack of dominance. In case of dominance into dominance, both loci or both gene exhibiting your dominance individually. So additive into additive fraction is fixable in nature, while remaining both are non-fixable in nature. In case of additive into additive gene action, which is a part of additive type of gene action, while remaining 2 comes under non-additive gene action. So additive into additive gene action, if we have, then in that case selection for such a trait is effective, while in remaining both cases selection will be not effective due to having a dominance variance which is not fixable in nature. So additive into additive gene interaction is useful in case of mass selection breeding method as well as for progeny selection method. Then remaining 2, that is additive into dominance and dominance into dominance, both are helpful in case of heterosis breeding. Another scientist, that is the Mather, in 1949 partition again this phenotypic variance into three components, that is heritable and fixable, that is also called as additive variance by Fisher, then heritable and non-fixable, that is dominance and epistasis, while third one is non-heritable and non-fixable means environmental variation. Another scientist, Singh, in 1990, he also classified this phenotypic variance into two types, fixable variance and non-fixable. So, in case of fixable, we will have additive gene variance and additive into additive interaction, while in case of non-fixable, dominance variance, additive into dominance and dominance into dominance, as well as environmental variation. So, the equation is Vp, so Vp stands for phenotypic variance, is equal to Vg plus Ve. So, Vg means genotypic variance, Ve means environmental variance. Okay. So, this Vg is again having a three components, that is dominant variance, additive variance and epistasis variance. Therefore, the equation is like Vd plus Vh plus Vi plus V. Again, this Vi component is classified into three, additive into additive action, additive into dominance and dominant into dominance. So, equation is Vd plus Vh plus Vaa plus Vad Vdd plus V. Okay. So, here you can see different types of gene action involving two genes. Okay. So, you can go through this slide and